Hello, class. I just wanted to take a minute to discuss with you the first project of the course. So this is a case study about the effects of light stimulation on the weight of mice. And so as you go through the project, first and foremost, the introductory paragraph will kind of describe the purpose behind the study, as well as what the variables mean in the study so that you have an understanding of the data. Down here, there's just an important message to make sure that your report is written in essay format. So obviously you will need to include graphs and data tables and things like that. Those need to be embedded within your essay, but then your responses and discussions need to be in complete sentences, and so forth. So make sure you're following that important tip for grading purposes. And so the purpose of this report is going to be apply some of the concepts that we've been looking at over the last 2 weeks. Now, part 1 has you answer various questions about the study, and that's just assessing your use of the vocabulary. And then the same goes for part 2. It's more just vocabulary assessment. What conclusions can you make? Talking about, observationals versus experiments and those types of statistical analysis. So that numbers 1 and 2 are more of the vocabulary application. When you get into part 3, this is where you're going to be actually analyzing the statistics. And so you're doing various different types of graphs and data analysis techniques that we've learned about. So for part A, you are going to be looking at the daily calorie intake, which is consumption for the 27 mice. The daily consumption is given in grams, and you're going to include a graph and summary statistics. So what we want here is we want to see a histogram or a box plot of the consumption data. The summary statistics would mean the mean, median, mode, all of that, and all the things listed here. And remember, you don't have to do any of these by hand. Take the data, the consumption data, put it into one of the online calculators, Excel, any technology that you feel comfortable with, and let it generate the histogram or box plot and all these data statistics for you. And then you just need to get them into your report and analyze them. So once you have the graph and the statistics, in part 3, you should have a couple sentences discussing what you learned from that data. So what is it telling you? What kind of patterns or relationships are you seeing there? Part B is you're looking at a relationship between light condition and body mass in grams. So the graph that you're giving for part B is a bar graph or a pie chart that will compare the means or the averages for each light condition. So when you look at the data down here, and I'll scroll down, there's multiple light conditions. There's LL, DM, and LD. So you have to find all of the, the BM gains. So find all the LL BM gains and find that average. Find the DM BM gains and find that average. And then all the LDs, find all the LDs from the list and then average those numbers. And then you'll make a bar chart or a pie chart that compares those. And then again, you'll write a couple sentences that explains what you found out from this data. Does there seem to be some kind of relationship between the light condition and the mass that they're gaining? Is a certain light condition gaining more weight than another? Part C is looking at the scatter plot. So this is where you're going to create a scatter plot of the data, the linear regression equation, the y equals mx plus b, or the line of best fit. You'll need to find the correlation coefficient and talk about what that means. Interpret the slope. So interpreting the slope means that you are discussing in context that for every 1 unit on the independent variable, how much is the dependent variable increasing or decreasing. Interpret the y-intercept, so that's the b, the y equals mx plus b, that's the b part of the equation. So what does that mean in context? When we talk about statistics, we don't just look at the numbers, we talk about what they mean in terms of the data. So what does that mean in terms of body mass gain and calories consumed? What are those numbers telling us? And then use the aggression equation to make a prediction. So this is where you're going to plug in 35 into the equation to see what it tells you, and looking at how close is that equation to what the data is collected. So, and then finally, part D is you're looking at two-way tables, and I gave you a template for your two-way table. So essentially, you just need to fill in this information, embed it into your essay, and talk about what these numbers are telling us in terms of a mouse becoming glucose intolerant. So I just wanted to run through that with you. Hope it helps hearing a little bit of the explanation. And if you have any questions, just remember the data's all down here. And if you need any assistance or need anything clarified, let me know and I can help you out with that.